at the inauguration podium, they had probably the largest display of bulletproof and bomb-proof glass around that area. So unless you were there physically, you wasn't gonna see that, but that was there. You know, he had 2 attempts on his life previously to that. So I was concerned if he was gonna make it to the inauguration. I'm not gonna lie.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is. I'm just curious. Have there been any like threats on your life for unveiling all this truth that you've been unveiling? Have you got any emails like, boy, if you don't stop talking?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. All right, well, let's get right to it, man, because we got no time to waste, man. So much is going on in the world that I said I would love to have Big Homie have this conversation. We wanted you to come on here and really just unveil a little bit more truth than you did last time, man. Your last 3 interviews have been spectacular. But as the world turns,
For sure.
things keep happening.
Absolutely.
And if you don't mind, we're going to jump around, but I have to jump right into it, man, because we just had an election.
Right.
And Trump, day one, again, I think he's the first president I've seen have that many executive orders signed day of that affected a lot of people.
True.
So before we even get started with each executive order, can I get your take on Trump inauguration day, him coming to office, and just what was your take on it? Like, I saw you on Michael Francis just speaking on what was about to come, and of course, Biden era going into Trump era. Give me your take on it.
Well, first and foremost, thank y'all for having me back.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get an overwhelming amount of messages about being on the blue couch. I get a lot of support and love from people in Dallas. It's always a pleasure. Nevertheless, we're going to get right into it. I was immediately concerned about his safety because I seen the FBI put out warnings about copycat terror attacks. And then I also seen that they were doing aerial searches and scans of the inauguration area for nuclear materials. Because we seen the guy in New York from the Yakuza get indicted for being in possession of weapons-grade plutonium. Now, if somebody in the United States of America is in possession of weapons-grade plutonium, he gets indicted the week before his inauguration, and they put out public notices that they're searching the inauguration area for the signs of radiation. That lets you know that there's an active threat against his life. And what a lot of people don't know is at the inauguration podium, they had probably the largest display of bulletproof and bomb-proof glass around that area. So unless you were there physically, you wasn't gonna see that, but that was there. He had 2 attempts on his life previously to that. So I was concerned if he was gonna make it to the inauguration. I'm not gonna lie, because some of the executive orders that he's calling and signing for, to see Congress immediately approve those, and then you see congressional hearings where you see congresspersons mentioning an active cabal and mentioning a deep state, that lets you know that there's an initiative going on within our government to suppress certain things and to eliminate him as well.
When you see them move the inauguration, what was supposed to have been outside, to indoors, a lot of people left Gucci purses, Louis Vuitton purses outside. Do you feel, they say it was because of the weather. Do you personally feel it's because of the weather or possibly to prevent any type of situation?
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not because of the weather. Because we've seen him have several rallies where it was raining and they didn't go anywhere. But they knew this is gonna be their last chance to assassinate him before he can pass some of those orders. Some of those orders is gonna take money out of a lot of powerful people's pockets. So he got a huge pair of paws. You feel me? He got balls of steel. I salute him.
Big homie, can you tell us what was going on with this TikTok situation?
The thing with TikTok is, a lot of the conservative and Republicans, they call TikTok the Chinese Communist app. So basically, how many users does TikTok have?
I'm sick. I'm serious.
So it's in the multiple of millions. And it's documented that China was actively surveilling Americans through the app.
They had 1 billion.
So they were listening to 1 billion people's phones ever since they signed up to the platform. Then using that information to spy on Americans for intel. China has a plan to be the world's superpower by the year 2050. They've poured more concrete in Africa than the entire size of the United States of America. They've built enough infrastructure there and got behind certain governments so that they kicked out the Europeans. And now they're forming the African Union. To me, that's going to be a staging area for China if there ever plan to be any type of attacks on U.S. mainland.
Right. Why shut down TikTok that for that day and then bring it right back? What's that about?
So the initial agreement was they had a certain amount of time to sell the app or they were going to get permanently shut down. They got a 90-day extension from the Trump administration. So within that 90 days, if they don't find a buyer, it's going to go away anyway. They were using if you got TikTok on your phone, you were being listened to 24 hours a day. Somewhere in an office here, not just in China, but here, in New York, they discovered in an office building an entire floor was being used as an illegal Chinese police station to monitor illegal Chinese nationals who entered the country illegally.
Is it true, because it's been circulating on social media, that Trump was the person who put this whole thing in motion as far as if they don't sell, it has to go? But then even on the app, when they brought it back, they're like, oh, thank you, Trump, for bringing the app back.
So that's a great question. So what happened was the previous administration, the same thing that Meta had to go through with congressional hearings about oversight, TikTok went through that. And once it got revealed that they could make anybody viral for an amount of money, that caused problems because people thinking things are happening organically. No, it's the Chinese government manipulating our social media to weaken our population. That's exactly what was going on. So when we see something that's not really good for our community going viral, they're making it go viral. And then, short form content is really not good for a lot of things because we're watching videos get shorter and shorter. This is why YouTube pays you an incentive for making videos longer than 10 minutes.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.